Everyone, I will first show you one video for my presentation, short one.
My message is that we'll be watching you. This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering, people are dying, entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you? For more than 30 years, the science has been crystal clear. How dare you continue to look away and come here saying that you're doing enough when the politics and solutions needed are still nowhere in sight? You say you hear us and that you understand the urgency. But no matter how sad and angry I am, I do not want to believe that. Because if you really understood the situation and still kept on failing to act, then you would be evil, and that I refuse to believe. How dare you pretend that this can be solved with just business as usual and some technical solutions? With today's emissions levels, that remaining CO2 budget will be entirely gone within less than 8.5 years. There will not be any solutions or plans presented in line with these figures here today, because these numbers are too uncomfortable and you are still not mature enough to tell it like it is. You are failing us, but the young people are starting to understand your betrayal. The eyes of all future generations are upon you. And if you choose to fail us, I say we will never forgive you. We will not let you get away with this. Right here, right now, is where we draw the line. The world is waking up, and change is coming whether you like it or not. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Maida Shabeta, Climate Save Movement campaigner for Europe. We are the movement that is in coalition with Amazon Watch, Fridays for Future, Extinction Rebellion, Animal Rebellion, but we'll talk about it later on. Look at this picture. Of course, this is not our planet, it's Mars. A barren place, yet some of super rich people are dreaming of building new civilization over there, whilst we are spending billions of euros and dollars to destroy life on Earth. And how silly we are. We often forget that we have only one planet. The only planet to survive for human beings is the Earth. Human beings are the only species that threatens the very survival on the Earth. Humans regard themselves as embodiment of the highest developed form of intelligence, the very top of the pyramid of civilization. However, they conveniently ignores the fact that wherever human beings go, major problems emerge. Problems like climate change, biodiversity crisis, scarcity of drinking water, energy crisis, food crisis, burning rainforest in Brazil to clear the way for soy plantation for meat industry, encouraged by President Bolsonaro. And let's not forget the European Union itself, which recently struck the free trade agreement with Mercosur, of which Brazil is a member because of the free trade. And the list goes and goes. Human self-centered politics nowadays is a mass suicide politics with a fairy tale, constant economic growth, constant measures to solve interhuman issues, conflicts, and problems. The most comprehensive study ever of the weight of all living biomass on the planet has discovered humans account for only 0.001% of life on Earth, but we still annihilated the rest of it. Researchers spent 3 years combining the existing scientific literature on planet's biomass to provide the most up-to-date and comprehensive estimate on the mass of all the kingdoms of life. Livestock, mostly cattle and pigs, make up to 60% of all mammals on Earth. When it comes to bird life, the same picture emerges, with the biomass of domesticated poultry being about 3 times greater than that of the wild birds. The researchers acknowledge it is difficult to accurately estimate the pre-human biomass of animals, but their analysis suggests human civilization has slashed the total biomass of wild mammals by as much as 85% and has cut plant biomass in half. And we are now facing a mass extinction event that is almost without precedent. In past months, over 600 scientists from all around the globe were mocked, ignored, proclaimed insane, just as Nikola Tesla in his time, who was fired from General Motors for offering the entire world free access to power. And after a century, we still destroy our rivers, ecosystems, biodiversity by building and keeping hydropower plants and emitting greenhouse gases into atmosphere by building and using coal power plants. The irony is that this is mostly happening in his own region Nikola Tesla. The IPCC report says that came out last year. It says on page 108 that to have a 67% chance of staying below 1.5 degrees of Celsius of global temperature rise, the best odds given by the IPCC, the world has 120 gigatons of CO2 left to emit back in January 1st of 2018. And today that figure is already down to less than 350 gigatons. With today's emissions levels that remain, CO2 budgets will be entirely gone by less than 8.5 years. And please note, these calculations don't include the already locked warming hidden by toxic air pollution, nonlinear tipping points, most feedback loops, or the aspect of equity and climate justice. The warming is caused by building of greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, which traps heat. It is caused by humans making products and buildings, burning fossil fuels for energy, which is the largest source of emissions, habitat destruction, deforestation. Eating animals is the biggest contributor to land clearing, deforestation. A high meat diet means a high carbon. According to the UK Committee on Climate Change, there is a window of about 12 to 18 months to do something about this. The time is now for action. Paris Agreement proposed maximum 2.0 degrees of Celsius as a limit for global warming. At the current level of commitments, the world is on a course for a disastrous minimum 3 degrees of Celsius of warming. Phasing out power plants, fossil fuels in Balkan region have depended on funds from UN or EU. We need to build wind plants, secure jobs for workers at coal power plants and mine workers, and then close down the existing ones. But our main mistake is that we always wait for someone else, someone from EU or USA to solve our problems. And as long as we are not legally forced to do something, we won't. We behave as we are not intelligent enough to create a strategy, fundraise ourselves, or solve the problem. Yet people in our polluted cities are dying from lung cancers. My country had 5 heat waves this summer, 3 floods this spring, and we still don't care. We still wait for someone else from the outside to come, gives us money, strategy, forces us to make change. I'm just going quickly to show you some slides and graphics. I'm not going to say anything for a while because time is ticking away. You see, we won't have Arctic ice in 2023, according to many reports. We are already witnessing climate chaos, and it leads to even more of it. If you remember, tornado in Romania that happened this year is the first ever tornado in this country reported in history. We have 12 years to survive, according to IPCC. We have 8.5 years to emit. We threaten 1 million species to go extinct, and the last IPCC report says that we must change food production. Every single second, an acre of forest is being cut down for animal agriculture, and every 6 seconds, a rainforest is being cut down for the same reasons. Globally, animal agriculture is responsible for more greenhouse gases than all the world's transportation system combined. Every minute, the equivalent of 35 football fields is cleared in the rainforest. It takes 1 kilo of soy either to produce 300 grams of chicken or to produce 1 kilo of meat substitute. It takes 2 football fields to feed 1 person a year by meat and dairy, whilst the same football field can feed 14 people a year. Animal agriculture is one of the leading causes of air pollution, deforestation, and water pollution. If you think it's not happening here in our region, you're wrong, because Croatian waters are marked as red thanks to animal agriculture, and you can see that Slavonia is the red one. The oceans are giving us 85% of the oxygen, but we could see fishless oceans by 2048 due to overheating and overfishing. If the oceans die, we die. The mission of Climate Save Movement works to solve the climate crisis by ending animal agriculture, reforesting the earth, phasing out fossil fuels. Animal agriculture is the key source of greenhouses, as we already mentioned that. And just for your information, the global production of soy is used 70% for animal feed, 24% for diesel, and only 6% for human consumption. And for recommendation, we need climate action now, and you should recommend the following: banning deforestation, run reforestation program, phase out fossil fuels, build strategy on closing down hydro plants and coal power plants while building wind power plants or solar plants, propose high sanction for illegal deforestation, cut down subsidies for meat production, increase taxes for animal products import for Brazil and Argentina, and of course, go vegan. Because, sorry, but the lifestyle you ordered is currently out of stock. Thank you.